Hey, welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of building this mentoring app. Now, if you were with me last time, you remember we were really just getting this boilerplate template set up. We were using Clerk and Stripe. We were looking at the instructions on GitHub from McKay Wrigley. And we were just thinking, man, what is the raw stuff that we have to get in? We were looking at our environment file after pulling that template from GitHub. And we were filling in the API keys and all of these webhooks and things to try to get the app just working from baseline, right? In the end of that video, we got a good portion of it working. We could see some of the Stripe calls being made. We could see authentication with Clerk kind of working. We still had some errors that we needed to work through. So as we pick up here in part 2, I'm going to go through those errors, see if we can figure those out together. Remember, this is really a raw look at what it takes to develop AI-guided apps, right? And so I want to take you along with me in discovering things and learning things and the struggle and what it takes to learn this. If you're not a developer, this will be great for you. And I encourage you just to watch, ask questions in the comments. What we're going to do today is actually figure out what design we kind of want with this AI app, with this mentoring app. We're going to use AI and ChatGPT to think through that a little bit. And then I'm going to dive back into the app itself and see if we can solve some of those errors if we have time. Again, I only want to spend 20 or 30 minutes on this in each session, and then we'll come back and keep iterating and building on this. So let's get started. Okay. Here we go. Let's get started in building this. I'm going to start with ChatGPT. So let's open this. You can see we have cursor up here. We filled all of this environment information in first. I don't want to have to blur out a bunch of stuff now, so I will avoid doing that right now. But let's go into ChatGPT. And I've already started a new project for this mentoring app, and I didn't want to get the design figured out before we started this video. I wanted to make sure that we figured out that design together because I have some kind of idea of where I want this to go, but I wanted to show you my thought process and the iterations that I go through when I'm using AI, ChatGPT, whatever it is, to kind of think of this design. That way, when we get back into Cursor, when we get back into our IDE, wherever you're developing, whether it's Replit as well, you have a better idea, and maybe you can put documentation into that file or into that IDE to help the AI build that with you, help you build those features. So let's get started here. I could add instructions for this project. Maybe I will. You are a web app developer, full stack, developing a mentoring app that helps users, helps people who are looking to have multiple mentors in their life. This is a kind of social media for mentorship and improvements. The goal is to have a round table of sorts of mentors, financial, spiritual, career, etc., where users can add mentors if they've been inside the app already. If they've, let's see, registered in the app already, they can track progress like to-do lists before next meetings. They can track meetings if it's weekly, quarterly, etc. And eventually they can even add an AI as a specific mentor with specific instructions. Now, I think part of that is, what if you want a mentor to become a better man, right? What if you want a mentor about finances, but maybe you're uncomfortable sharing your finances with somebody? Now, GPT, with the current regulation that just came through, where they're storing every one of their prompts and all of the data in perpetuity, is kind of scary. Like, instead of sharing it with just one person, you're sharing it with this database that may survive forever. But anyway, that's a totally different story. What I would say here is maybe you want an AI to talk to through some of the problems that you feel are more personal. Maybe you can't find that mentor, right? Maybe you're trying to find that spiritual mentor. You're trying to find that, someone to help guide you through some of your life problems that you don't really know who to talk to. I would at first encourage you to reach out to somebody to find, even if it's somebody on social media that you look up to. You'd be surprised how many of them would reply to you. But anyways, maybe AI can bridge that gap, right? Like maybe we can use an AI to help us get through some of those difficult moments until we fill that in with someone. I think the benefit to that is that AI can hold a lot more context, right? Like you can sit down and try to tell your life story to someone, to a mentor in an hour. They're not going to be able to hold all that context. It takes many years of spending time with someone for them to wrap their head around who you are as a person, where I think AI can hold that in its knowledge and can retrieve those memories that you share with it at a moment's notice. So it remains to be seen if AI would be a better mentor than a human, but I think AI still doesn't have those human qualities that we probably need in mentorship. So anyways, I want to add that as an option. Let's leave it like that. Let's say the goal is for users to jump in and take a look at their mentoring progress, maybe find new mentors, plan meetings, and more. Now, I don't know if this is good instructions. That's what I'm going to start with, right? Did it actually save them? It didn't even look like it. Oh, it did. Okay. Let's go back in here and make sure. Okay. Given the instructions, let's actually use the voice to chat here. This might be a little bit easier. Given the instructions for this project, I want you to start designing the way that this app could work. We don't really need to go into the UI and the coding. In fact, I don't want you to provide any coding examples. I want you to really start shining on the idea of what it takes to design this app. What are the main features that would draw people in? How would you get new mentors into this? How would you get people to see the value in mentorship and being able to track and being able to kind of level up their life? What kind of UI would we go after? Would it be more professional? Would it be gamified? Let's start thinking of the entire design of this mentoring app so we can get a better idea of the market that it fits, the type of people that would use it, and the look and feel of it that would give people confidence in using it so we can market it with short form video, etc. So let's start thinking about that design and let's come up with a design document, whether that's technical. Actually, let's avoid technical for now. Okay, so it's using this audio that I just put in, obviously a lot faster than typing. And I'm going to delete that last section. I just want a design document. I don't want technical. So make a short form video. Let's start thinking about the design and come up with the design document. Okay. So I'm going to send that off. Let's let GPT work a bit. And while it's kind of coming out with that vision, what we can do is we can do npm run dev here, and we can get a sample of where we left off last, right? So let's open this up. Okay, it's working. While that's working, let's get back to GPT. Okay, mentoring app design document, vision. Personal mentorship platform acts as a life operating system, bringing together spiritual, career, financial, emotional, physical mentors in one space. Okay, great. Young professionals, yes. Then yes. One thing I really want to harp on here, and I've thought of this before, is there is an older generation, especially I think when you get into your late 40s and 50s, where their kids are probably out of the house, they're starting families, maybe they don't communicate as much with the family. And these older gentlemen and probably women crave mentoring someone. Like they feel like they have so much to offer, and they frankly love to talk and love to be listened to. And I think we're not bridging that gap very well. I think in the village lifestyle, we used to bridge that gap better. We used to say, hey, go talk to your uncle or go talk to, the elder over here, and you would get wisdom from them because you're in the village and you grew up with them and they knew you as a child, right? They knew all of your faults and your growths. And so I think we lost that in society, right? Like we move. I mean, you have friends that are always thinking, I want to move to Idaho. I want to move here. I want to move there. And it kind of puts a barrier between the relationship time that you want to build with that person, because you're like, they may not be around. And so I think there are a huge group of people, of parents and adults, that their kids are out of the house. Maybe they didn't have kids, and they really just want to pour into the young, because the young can just lap it up like a dog. They're just like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that I could just talk to someone and they would help me through these issues. And so this, I think, is going to be super useful. I think the goal here is to get those adults, those mentors in here that are willing to share their knowledge, give them a profile that they can work on, so people can reach out and say, like, this guy was an entrepreneur for 30 years. Now he's retired. I want to talk to him. Or this guy climbed the corporate ladder at Microsoft or Fang, right? All these big companies. And I want to talk to him because that's what I want to do in a career. And where do you do that? Like, where do you search for that person? I mean, you could say LinkedIn, right? But I just don't think it's the right place. So I think that's going to be great. Let's go on. Mentors and coaches wanting to scale their impact and streamline. I don't want this to be like a coaching network where they just charge tons of money to coach you. You know, there's like school.com, which does that. I don't want to do that. Personal development, etc. Okay, core features: mentoring roundtable, multi-mentor structure, build your life roundtable. Yes. Custom to-do list for each mentor. A timeline with goals. I like that. Making specific goals. Journal feature linked to each meeting. I like that. AI mentors. Yeah, this is cool. Oops, I didn't know I was going to do that. Let's close that and see what's going on here. Monetization. We got to skip back. Okay, there's a lot here. Obviously, we didn't even get past it. So, here we go. Yeah, progress and tracking, custom to-do list, mentorship timeline, AI mentors, discovery marketplace, verified mentors. Yes, I like that. Mentors can be free. Okay, apparently we need to use this because I'm going to be clicking on some stuff here. Mentor feedback. Mentors can offer free or paid membership. I kind of want to stay away from this. I don't want it just to get too fanboyish, right? And so I probably will charge a subscription fee just to get in. Like, if you want to be a mentor, or if you want to be a mentee, it's $9 a month, right? It just is what it is. You know, maybe at some point it's more. Maybe it's $50 a month because there's so much value here. So I don't want mentors to be able to charge. You know, I think the value is that this is a free service to mentor and mentee, and both of them get value out of it. So I probably won't do that. Gamified growth. I do like that idea. Scheduling meetings. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Connecting with Google. Yeah. Reflecting. Okay. Core design. Earthy tone, subtle. Okay. Clear top feel. Feels like a blend between Notion, Duolingo, and LinkedIn. I definitely want to stay away from LinkedIn. Notion is okay. Okay, let's take some notes. Okay, let's take a visual stab at the design. I want to stay away from the LinkedIn professional look. I want this to be less formal and more casual, but engaging. Okay. I don't want mentors to be able to charge for their service. I want the value to go both ways. I want mentees to be able to reach out, mentors to set schedules. I probably should do voice mode again, and to be able to approve, add, and remove mentees. Okay, gamification is great, like Duolingo. Okay, love that idea. Yeah, user testimonials, great. Let's talk about subscription. I ultimately think we should have a free trial and then the subscription model monthly. We can adjust prices later. Okay. I don't think I want freemium. I want free trial. Short form content market. That's fine. Marketing, competitive, different. Okay. Okay. I think we got a good MVP here. Show me a sample visual design. Let's see what it does. Let's close this out and let's head back over here to this template. Remember, we had some errors. This obviously is what McKay already had in here. And this is fine, but we had some errors, a ton of errors. Has been loaded with development keys. Development instances have strict usage limits, should not be used when deploying your application to production. That's fine. There is a lot here. So I'm just going to copy all of this and let's go back to Cursor and say, we are getting a lot of errors. Am I logged in? I am. Okay, I have my account there. We're getting a lot of errors in the console after running npm run dev. Are any of these errors of concern? I believe I'm logged in into Clerk, and we just have the boilerplate template from McKay. So we haven't started any UI changes. Here are the errors. So again, that's not, obviously did not copy, you see that? You are a web developer. This is not what I wanted to send them. So let's go back and let's see why it didn't copy this. Oops. Copy. Let's see. Did we get it? No. Okay. I don't know why. Maybe I need to highlight individually. Copy. Okay. That's better. Looks like it's got a lot. Let's see what GPT says. That's working. I'd love to switch back and see. I don't know if that's GPT on that side. Actually, it could be Claude or something else. Okay, mentoring app. This is interesting. I actually don't like this. This is way too kidified. It needs to be more mature. So let's say that. Okay, I don't like this look. This is way too kidified. It needs to be more mature. Maybe the colors are less pastel. I see this mainly as a men's mentoring app, although women could use it. So let's explore something a bit more mature, or give me examples of apps that are more mature that I can choose from. Okay, back to Cursor. Let's see what it said about these errors. Here's a breakdown. Supabase connection error. Okay, so error getting profile, error creating profile. It's trying to connect to Supabase posters. Data so can't reach a server. Okay, Supabase is paused or sleeping. Okay, let's go to Supabase and let's see which one of these is Supabase. Clerk. Did I close it? There it is. Okay, project status. Connect. No, we already did connect. Tables, functions, replica, database. No issues. This is the right one. Oh, look at this. You know, the status is orange. Unhealthy. Auth unhealthy. Let's refresh. Okay, it might be this actually. We believe connecting issue a result of broad outage. Okay, so there looks like there's an outage given today. There's not gonna be much we can do with that right now. So let's go back to the design. Actually, let's go here and see what else they said. Clerk development key warning. Okay, this is good. I thought this was the case. React hydration mismatch. There is a mismatch between the server rendered HTML and what React specs. Should be concerns? No. Okay. Okay, we're going to customize that anyway. Resource preload warning. The resource URL is preloaded using link. Resource is preloaded, but not used quickly. No, this is performance optimization. Okay. Chrome third-party warning. Okay, that's fine. So really the only issue, I think, is the Supabase issue, which I went too far here. Yeah, this is the main issue. And I could pretty much just, let's just copy and paste this and say, okay, it looks like there is a Supabase outage. And we added that in there. So it doesn't really help us, doesn't move forward for us. Let's see, great direction. You're leaning towards a more masculine, mature, and focused look, something that balances professional without feeling stuffy. Okay, Stoic app. Maybe we can look up some of these. Stoic app. This might be the key, right? I think this is nice. Yeah, I don't know that I like the black and white, but maybe it's just simple, right? Levels health. What is levels health? Levels health app. I do like this. I don't always want to do dark mode, but I do like that. Okay, what else? Nike Training Club. Okay, so this is very image heavy. I'm not sure if having a mentoring app with lots of images makes sense, unless they're motivational images. Okay, Notion app. I definitely, this is too document-like. Okay, Strava dark mode. Okay, this is not bad. Okay, so let's give it our feedback. Okay, I do like the Strava dark mode. I don't care for the Notion documentation look. I don't care for the Nike Training Club, which has lots of imagery. I do like the simplicity of the Stoic app, but I think we need a bit more colors. So let's take that feedback and let's create a new mockup. Yeah, maybe be side by side in this mature direction so that we can compare them. You can see down here it offered to do a side-by-side mockup. Would you like me to generate a mood board style visual design? Yeah, actually, let's do that. Yeah, let's actually do the mood board style design mockup. Okay, so we have that going. What I'm actually going to do is, let's see. There's nothing wrong with code. Okay, it seems we can move forward with, what I want to do, and this was the intent early on, is I want to do the Claude code portion of this, which, if we remember, that was our original intent here when we were looking at his design. And let's see, it doesn't tell you exactly how to do the Claude code section. I know he was planning to do an update. Let's see if there's any updates 4 months ago. Not yet. So let's do installing Claude code in Cursor. Let's see if we can find this. Simply run Claude in your Cursor terminal. Okay, it's got to be more than just running Claude. Okay. Claude code runs entirely in your terminal. The output is well formatted. Simply run Claude. Okay, I'm not convinced here. Let's do this. Yeah, see, command not found, Claude. So how do we set up? Let's find another article. npm install Anthropic Claude code. Force refresh. Okay, let's see what this is here and make sure. Let's do this. I'd like to install Claude code and give it a try here. I see this as a way to install it. Is this accurate? When in doubt, you can ask some of these AIs to give you guidance. Always remember they do hallucinate sometimes. As of now, Claude code is not distributed as an npm package. You can install globally with npm install g. Claude by the model. If you want to use Claude for code generation, you usually need access to Anthropic API. That's fine. A client or SDK. If you want to use Claude via the API in Node.js, is this right? Anthropic API. Let's see what this is. Okay. Okay, so it's giving you instructions on how it kind of works. TypeScript and Java. We also currently have a Go SDK in beta. Set up your API key, call the API. Okay, I don't think that gave us the answer. I'm a little confused here. Here's some Cursor forums. Welcome to Claude Code. So he did something right. Claude Code installed on Windows and integrated Cursor in my case. Even after successfully installing both Cursor and Claude, the IDE route still could detect Cursor. I tried all the user solutions. Okay, so some people are having a lot of problem. And there's no support from Cursor, it looks like. Okay, let's avoid that for now. I really wanted to try that, but let's see what GPT gave us for design work. Okay, I actually love this. Let's take a deeper look. This looks great. It's super simple. We could probably have a light and a dark mode. Yeah, there's a free trial. There's meetings, to-do lists. You can see your mentors. I think we could kind of gamify it a little bit better, but I really like this idea. Okay. Okay, great. Let's use audio again. Give me an example of the home page and feel free to use some code. I have a Next.js app that I'm starting to build this app in. Let me know how you would start and what kind of UI you would begin to implement so I can provide that to Cursor to get this app started. Let's see if we can get a preliminary design in here. I'm still going to run npm run dev. What we do need is, we can close some of these. We want to get some of the UI in, okay? And we could probably still see that. Okay, so it's coming up with all of these suggestions. Let's see, it's got app here. I think I can get a tree. Oh, that's way too large. What is the command to get a tree of my current setup without all the npm, etc.? This is usually pretty useful. So look, when you do this tree command, it shows you obviously everything in every folder and all that. When it adds all the npm stuff, it's just awful, right? So we don't need to do that. If you don't have tree installed, you can use brew to install it. I'm going to copy this and run it. It's going to exclude node modules, Git, Next.js, all of these things, which is great. And I just want this basic tree to kind of see. So look, it has 35 directories, 114 files. If we zoom past this, which it should be pretty short, you can see the difference, 3,600 directories and 40,000 files. It's too much. We don't need all that. But I would love to pop this section into GPT and say, great, here is my current tree. Would you advise any changes? This tree has a template installed already. Advise what we should change to get to your, what did they suggest? Clean homepage and setup. Okay. So what I will do is I'm going to take this whole section here. Okay. Okay, here is some instructions. Let's do agent. It's agent auto on rebuilding this app. It's currently a template, and we need to remove the appropriate text, pages, etc., and replace them with our mentoring app details. Here are those details. Now we should probably chunk this down, but I want to give it a try just to see how well it does by adding it in there immediately as a huge chunk. I may regret this, right? But we're not that far along where I can't regret what we're doing, right? Okay, let's do this. I don't need this section here. And I want to include the section before this, which again, may be too much, but I'm willing to give it a go. So I'm gonna delete that last section that asks the questions. All right, let's see what this does. Now this is communicating with the agent that's already built in. It's probably going to use a version of Claude. It is not the Claude code version, right? So let's see what this builds. It's already talking about using a dark theme, which is great. It's going to do layout page. This is a dashboard. That's great. Remove the template. Okay, awesome. So it already knows that it wants to remove any references to MK's app template or similar. Fantastic. Update the styling, new homepage, protect authenticated routes. Yep, that's great. Redirect on it. Okay, great. Prepare for future releases. What I'll do for you, remove here. Okay. Before I start, do you want to keep the pages directory for legacy and Next.js support or focus on the app directory recommended for new projects? User provider. Okay, whatever you recommend is fine. Let me know if you have any preferences or I'll proceed. Let's proceed. Okay. This is the YOLO part, right? Let's see what happens. So on the left-hand side, we can probably start seeing some of this get created, this app section. It might start changing. Let's see here. Okay, it's got a to-do, 6 items in app, to-do, components, to-do list. Okay, so that's for the mentoring to-do list. That's great. Let's see if it added anything to it yet. It did. So this is working quick. Could not resolve. Okay, so it saw a couple of errors, likely because it removed something. Layout. Let's see what it's doing to this. Okay, so it's still got this title and information in here. It'll clearly need to remove that. It's creating so it's creating some components, mentoring card. This is likely, yeah, it's in our component list. So it's got a dashboard with components, mentoring card. It's got a landing page. This is great. So you can see it working in real time, which is pretty cool. Let's go back to GPT and let's say, okay, what would you work on next if this is built and working as expected? I don't expect it to work great off the bat. We're going to give it a first go here and see how far we can get though. Interesting. Look at this mentoring card. It's creating, some sample users. We will need to tie these into profiles, obviously, or we will need to tie them into AIs. Maybe there's an option, right? Okay, the new dashboard structure and components are now scaffolded and styled for your mentoring app. Here's what was done: branding, dashboard, components, marketing page. Next step for you, update the marketing homepage. Route features. Yes, let's update the homepage so we can take a look and browse around. If there is anything templated that we need to remove, let's do that. The goal is to get to a MVP we can take a look at. with npm run dev. Okay. So let's see if we can get to that state real quick. You know, this is that next phase of going from hooking up most everything into this app. You know, I hope it maintains that structure. We didn't get to test it fully because it looks like Supabase was down, but we're hopefully going to get to a place here where this agent will build some of these features for us and we can get a look. Now, I don't expect this to be perfect, but I want it to work and give me something to prototype in to get an idea of the user experience, the UI, be able to iterate on it. And then we start slowing down. We start saying, okay, this small section, this feature, I want you to change this feature, add or remove this. So we kind of go from broad to narrow over time. Okay, so it's working on hero features. Let's go to GPT and see what it said. Phase 2, core feature build out, user value. Mentoring profiles, obviously that's super important. I think that's great. Next, mentee requests and approvals. Yep, that's great. Meeting tracker, that's pretty cool. I don't know if we need that, right? I mean, at some point it'd be good to have to-do list, right? Simple AI mentor prototype. Okay, so a lot of those are pretty cool. Let's try it. Looks like it's ready. Starting. I'll give it a minute to start first. And let's give it a go. Close these other two. A lot of errors. Let's do this. So there's a build error, probably a simple fix. Build error. Okay, so it's the dashboard and the marketing areas. Current public homepage is the same level, but in a different route. Okay, marketing and dashboard. Decide which should be the route path. Public homepage. Yes, marketing is fine. Okay, let's see if it'll make this change for us. So it wants that marketing page to be the root page, which makes sense. As people go to the website, you want them to land on kind of that sales page, right? If they're going to log in, they'll get sent to a dashboard instead. So let's stop running this over here. So we're going to have to do another dev run edit. I don't know why it's recreating these two pages. Maybe it's pointing to a different page here. It's deleting page TSX to rebuild it, which is interesting. App. I don't know why. Okay, we'll finish reading GPT while we wait. Simple AI mentoring prototype, that would be great. Subscription wall, yes. So once we get everything working, then we can start really saying, okay, how do we make this kind of a walled garden and encourage people to subscribe? And then, yeah, in phase 3, growth and community, referral flow, that would be awesome. You know, that's the way to get people in, is having huge referrals. Gamification, this would be cool, but I agree that that should come later. So let's see where cursor is at. It's deleting this file. Oh, I need to accept. That's probably why. Deleting layout, okay. The route is now resolved. Let's see if that's true. npm run dev. Let's give it a look. Close this one for now. I don't see any errors yet. And it looks like it's compiled. Maybe we can open the inspector. Console isn't outputting anything yet. That's good news. Whoa, okay. Okay, well, we still got the template details up here. That's fine for now. Unlock your potential with mentorship. Okay, we got something. Let's see what pages there are. So there's still that about page, pricing page, contact, to do. I mean, I should be logged in, right? Still some issues for sure. And it looks like it takes quite a while to load this app. Okay. Can we get to like a developer? Can we get to a section here? Get started. That doesn't send us anywhere. Get started. What errors do we have? Console. Error getting profile by user ID. We already knew this was going to happen. We might have to wait until Supabase fixes their issues, but we've got a good start. We've got rid of most of the templated information on McKay's app. We still need to figure out the structure of the app and continue to work with AI to get this going. As I mentioned before, this is raw, right? This is really digging in and saying, how do I fix this thing? Now there's a new problem. How do I fix this thing? But at the end of the day, this works a lot quicker than doing it yourself. So as long as we can get the app to a state where it can function in the way that we want, it can get the sales page up, it can get the profile up, the authentication, you can get Stripe set up, and you can get some of these just baseline features in. It may take quite a number of sessions, right? This was only about 20, 30 minutes. But I think we're making progress. We're just going to try to make progress every single day. If you've seen my shorts, that's what I encourage you to do. Every day is day one. Get in, make progress, even if it's just a little bit, 10 minutes. Just do it every day, a brick upon a brick, right? Eventually builds the house. So I encourage you to do that. Look forward to part 3. We're going to get this built. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.